So somebody in the chat suggested that I go over this guy named Synthetic Man, described him as a neo-Nazi, and suggested that I watch this fine video titled Gaming is Dying, Nintendo is Killing It. I went to look at his profile and he's live right now. So before I go into that video, I would like to see what he's up to. He's trying to finish The Last of Us 2. There's 1.5K watching, which is much more than who's watching now. But that's okay. Let's see what he's up to.
Incredibly wholesome. It
Wholesome
involves
100?
killing
Poggers?
6 million people I don't like. It'll be a lot faster than 4 years, though.
Wow, we already got a Holocaust joke. That's crazy work. Absolutely crazy work.
Oh my god, her dad that got killed.
We just got here,
wow.
man. We just sat down. Dead Domain did a great vid on him. That's great. I mean, you all you had to say was Dead Domain did a vid on him. Because Dead Domain is great. Crazy work. Already got a Holocaust joke. That's literally the first thing we hear
Thanks,
coming in.
Selfie Fan Schizoid. Thanks, $5. Old Last was 2 streams. Have some pretty good Doomer hours. Autistic Friend, Black Girlfriend, Synth Dad Lore. The RoboCop streams also had good Doomer hours. Well, I'm glad someone's keeping track. I feel like your parasocial levels are getting too high. Despite your name, you're the truest of cells, the truest of fans. You are schizoid though.
Oh, this is straight. This is
Gaines
straight
Games. Thanks, $2. It got knocked out yet? That's literally at the end. Fuck.
Dubsy censor that.
So unless we're finishing this tonight, you're probably not going to see little Asian
crazy.
knocked out. Oh, we can
crazy. Okay, I'm done. Crazy work. That literally like that's what all this is. I clicked in at a. How long has he been live? This man's been live for almost 5 hours. Okay, 5 hours, and I just randomly get in here, and already like it's just being a dick. It's just being a piece of shit. I make video game reviews. That's pretty much all you need to know. I think you need to know a couple of other things too. Also, like the word roasty. I don't know what that means, but I know that it's not good. I've definitely learned what it means before, and I just remember it being disgusting. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm just gonna move on. Okay, I gotta know. Gaming is dying and Nintendo is killing it.
It's got to be one of the worst console showcases I've ever seen. It's been a while since I made like a gaming is dying style video, and I don't really talk about Nintendo a lot on this channel. Believe it or not, I used to be a huge fan. I grew up with a GameCube and a Wii, and man, I'm just one of those people who really loved my GameCube. Not as much as my PS2, of course, but Nintendo had such great exclusives back then. Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which is probably still the best Pokemon game to this day.
Dude, I played all of these. No, no. I can't relate to the neo-Nazi. That's disgusting. Rancid work.
Kirby Air Ride, the most underrated party game that has ever existed. Oh, and how could I forget one of my favorite games
I can't agree with the Nazi.
Metroid Prime. And this is all without getting into third-party exclusives.
No, not the worst person you know just made a great point. He actually has a few good gaming takes. This is tragic. Absolutely tragic. You don't have to be a dick, dude. You could just like games like the rest of us. I'm just saying.
This was at the time like the Resident Evil 1 remake or even Resident Evil 4 for about a year.
I'm not knocking his takes.
Goes on. There were so many great games I played on my GameCube. And yeah, I ended up liking my Wii as well. Yeah, the whole motion controls gimmick has aged like milk, and the exclusive game selection definitely wasn't quite as strong. Though I think Super Mario Galaxy is still one of the most visually impressive games that has ever released to this day. And it will forever stand the test of time, proving that aesthetics are...
I do gotta point out, though, what really blew me away was the music. Unmatched, unparalleled, especially Gusty Garden Galaxy. Like, literally just, not even the theme of the game. Like, but it's become the theme because of how good it is. Like, it's literally been studied by musical artists. Like, it's insanely good. Okay, sorry, I'm very attached to the soundtrack from this game, and I feel that is worth mentioning.
Are far more important than graphic fidelity. Oh, and of course it also has one of the greatest original soundtracks in gaming history as well. And then of course we got the Wii U, which was the biggest Nintendo bomb since the Virtual Boy, and I'm not going to get into that, but I will say I think people didn't quite give the Wii U a fair shot. The whole consumer confusion, whether or not it...
I don't know why they had to make the Wii U. I don't know. Like, it seemed like a very awkward in-between. It's like the middle Pokemon, you know? It's like not quite cute enough to be on my team, not quite strong enough to be on my team, you know? Like, it's just kind of there.
It was even a new console. It kind of just speaks to how dumb the average person is. But I will admit that the gamepad was probably an even dumber gimmick than motion controls. And then finally, we got to the Switch, which I have...
Because, like, they also... Sorry, I keep pausing. They also, like, implemented motion controls with the gamepad. You know, it was very confusing.
Always thought was overrated since fucking day one. Now, yes, I think Breath of the Wild is an amazing game. Honestly, I do. I don't know if I would think that on a second playthrough, because I think you guys already know by now how I feel about open world games. But the first time playing it, it really felt like I was playing a very well-polished, huge sandbox where there was constantly new, exciting things to discover. Yes, some of the shrines sucked absolute dick, but I'd say for the most part, world exploration was actually kind of exciting.
I haven't played the new one. I've heard mixed things. People love it, but also, like, it could have been more. Is what I understand about
it. Now, personally, I hate Super Mario Odyssey, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
Really?
I'll just say that Joseph Anderson's review.
First controversial take. I think Mario Odyssey is overblown. I personally did not like. It was fine. It was fun. It just didn't blow me away the way Mario Galaxy and Mario Sunshine did. You know, and Mario 64, of course, is a classic. So, like, it has reason. I'm not going to say it doesn't deserve to stand with the rest of them, but, like, it's kind of mid compared to the others. It's kind of mid compared to the others. Like, it's great for what it is. It's a great game. But, man, it just does not hit. It doesn't hit. It insists upon itself, is what I'm trying to say.
Pretty much covered every single problem I had with the game. It truly took baby game to a new level. I don't understand why we need to even further infantilize games that were already designed for children. Nobody ever had a problem beating Super Mario 64. Why the hell is Super Mario Odyssey so fucking condescending? And
hold on, that's insulting. I had much problems trying to beat that
how frequently and often it rewards the player for doing literally nothing of value. And look, I'm not going to give you a brief history lesson on the past 7 years of the Nintendo Switch, but let's just say that I wasn't truly impressed by any game on the console except Breath of the Wild. Yes, there were quite a few good games I played. I really liked Metroid Dread. I thought Shin Megami Tensei 5 was good. Although Pikmin 4 wasn't exactly what I wanted, I still liked it as well.
I thought Pikmin 4 was great. I've heard mixed things. Some people think that Odie was a great addition. I personally agree. Some people think he wasn't so great. And I've heard people say it's the best of every other game. But, like, nobody hates it. It's just like, it's just a very solid game. I really liked it.
But if I had to sum up the Switch's library, I would say a third of it was just sequels to long-running franchises that didn't really impress or innovate in any significant way. Another third was literal re-releases and ports, either from the Wii U or of current-gen console games, which I have no idea why the hell you'd want to play significantly graphically downgraded games that probably run like shit just because you can do it on the go. In the last third,
Hold on. This might be his first weird take.
You'd want to play significantly graphically down that didn't really impress or innovate in any significant way. Another third was literal re-releases and ports, either from the Wii U or of current-gen console games, which I have no idea why the hell you'd want to play significantly graphically downgraded games that probably run like shit just because you can do it on the go.
I see what he's talking about. Sorry, it took me a second. I was like, I thought he was talking about bringing old games back to current consoles so people can actually play them. What he's talking about is shit like Skyrim on the Switch. It was on the Switch, right? They tried to run Skyrim on the Switch. Hold on, what's the meme? It's right there. Behold, the Nintendo Switch graphics. You can play Skyrim on the go, just like you've always remembered it. It's not actually how it looks, but... Low-key hottest take, Skyrim hit different on the Amazon Alexa. It's not quite how I remembered it. Well, sorry. This is how you're gonna remember it. Okay. We still haven't hit the gold yet, okay? Like, we still have not struck gold here.
In the last third, I'm simply going to refer to as weeb.
I'm starting to think that the person who suggested this just thinks everybody's a Nazi. What do you think? What do you think, chat? I think that the woke progressive left just accuses anybody and everybody of being a Nazi just because they want something like an ethno state, okay? Like, calm the down.
Just because I find other races inferior to me does not mean...
I need to stop. YouTube's actually gonna Take me down.
Games, which is completely fine. I don't care if you really like anime games. At least they have attractive women in them. But I won't say that most of those appealed to me personally. Dude. So yeah, obviously I'm not crazy. I can definitely acknowledge that the Switch has a better library than, say, the PS5 or the Xbox One X. But the bar is so goddamn low at this point. The Switch definitely did not impress me. Actually, I was pretty disappointed. If you think about it, Nintendo...
I thought, okay, the Switch was not as revolutionary as the Wii, granted, but I do think that it was definitely a step and a half above the Switch, or sorry, not the Switch, the Wii U, because it felt like what the Wii U was trying to do, you know? Like, it's not perfect, it's got a lot of issues with it, but ultimately it accomplished its goal very well. You can play it anywhere. You can play it on your TV at home with your friends, and it's got pretty good graphics for a handheld, like, you gotta admit. So like, I like this, the Nintendo has always been kind of the wild card of the console wars, which I love and respect about them. I thought the Switch was a solid continuation of their bizarre, crafty ideas. It was fun.
Completely canceled their handheld line, and all of those development studios that normally made these like bite-sized budget fun games.
Like,
I grew up with a shit ton of great ones.
I think no. I think that was the natural progression, right? Like, we have the handhelds, we have the consoles. Now we've merged them. Now you can just switch back and forth, right? That's a natural... I feel like we've progressed as a species personally, now that we've merged the two ideas. Because now, like, you can't... Like, they've literally, like, set the standard. Like, you have to make a mobile version of your console, you know, or like make it interchangeable somehow. You have to do that.
All of those studios then were supposed to make games for the Switch, right? So you'd think we'd get like twice as many games, since now all the console exclusives and the handheld exclusives are combined onto one system, but that couldn't have been further from the truth. Now, I know a lot of this is just due to the fact that games take a lot longer to make now, and I'm not going to get into that because this video has nothing to do with that shit. But no, I don't think this...
Oh yeah, they are bringing back Kirby Air Ride. I forgot. That's so cool. Sorry, I just randomly remembered that. That's so cool. They're bringing back Kirby Air Ride. I'm so fucking hyped
Switch
for that.
has even as robust a library as the Wii, certainly not like the Nintendo DS. And just because maybe those games have higher budgets and better production values than Wii or DS games, doesn't mean they're actually better games. They absolutely are not. Honestly, I think the only Switch title that will be considered one of the greatest games ever made in the long run is probably Breath of the Wild. And if you name anything else, that just says to me that you haven't played enough video games.
He might be right on that. I don't know that any other Switch title... Pikmin 4 was really good, but it didn't... Like, it was really, really good, but I don't think it broke any new ground. You know what I mean? Like, it was probably the best puzzle game of the entire, like, of all time. One of the best puzzle games of all time. But, like, I don't think that it was, like, revolutionary the way that Breath of the Wild was. Because, like, the art style, the open world, the dungeon system was kind of repetitive. But, like, and it wasn't a perfect game, but, like, people were really annoyed by the weapons always breaking. But, like... It set a lot of standards for gaming. So I don't know that I think he might be right on that one. I can't think of another game on the Switch that did that.
That you didn't actually grow up with the Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, because I guarantee you there's an equivalent game from 20 years ago better than anything you could name. I don't care that Smash Bros has 100 characters. I don't care that Mario Odyssey lets you turn into random ass like enemies and use their ability for some fucking stupid gimmick. I don't care that Tears of the Kingdom added a bunch of stupid ass Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts mechanics. None of that's...
Wait, but I thought the building thing was like pretty cool actually. Like, again, that seemed like a natural progression of the game. I think that it felt like a DLC. Right, just from looking at it, like, it looks like a fucking DLC of the original game. But, you know, I thought it was still good for what it was.
Stuff actually fundamentally improves the game. Well, I guess you could make a case for Smash Bros. Being better, but either way, it's not exactly one of my favorite series anymore. So you may be wondering, why am I starting off with this huge introduction when this is supposed to be a video about the reveal of the Switch 2? Well, essentially, this whole thing is just a setup to show you that I wasn't exactly impressed by the Switch 1. And so Nintendo is now having their huge Disney moment. And what I mean by that is they're trying to milk the customer for everything they're worth. They've got our childhoods by the balls. They know that we're attached to their core IPs.
It's coming.
And for the most part, they're no longer interested in making new ones. They know the type of power they have over millennials, and now they're going to test just how willing the customer is
and
to
they
empty their
avocado
pockets. Nintendo truly is the Disney of video games. The difference is, unlike Disney, Nintendo hasn't made their political propaganda so blatant just yet. Now, if you know where to look, you can certainly see it in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That was some of the most obvious cases of DEI I've ever seen.
What? Why? Why? Because, like, there's more people with darker skin? Why? But that's what... But, like, wasn't it based on, like, South America? I thought, like, this game was, like, based in South America, wasn't it? Like, that was like where they were pulling in, like, they pull inspiration from one of the areas of the planet. Like, for it was like the Hawaiian Islands. Was it Spain? Okay, I don't know. But like it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What? Clearly DEI. Just say the N-word, brother. Just say the N-word.
And the Pokemon Company literally has a DEI page on their website before one of you morons says something stupid. But for the most part, they have stayed out of modern cultural Marxism.
The white
whatever you...
I'm relieved now. Nice white faces. Nice, pristine, white, polished faces. Oh, I feel so much better. Thank you.
But Nintendo has truly jumped the shark with the Switch 2. I don't want to repeat the opinions of what many other YouTubers have already said, but just know, obviously I agree with them that these prices are absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Sir, this is a Spain-inspired region? Okay, I was wrong, all right? Sure. Spain's got white people, okay? It's also got people of color, I'm sure. And it doesn't matter anyway. Like, who cares if they're all black? Most of the time, they're all white. So, f it. Like, yeah, make a game where they're all black. And you don't have to set it in, like, the inner city or Africa or whatever. Like, just, yeah, fuck it. Make a game where they're all black. Who cares? Is the game good? Does it play well? Am I going to have fun? Am I going to remember this experience? That's what I care about. Okay? Like, shut the fuck up.
But for me, it's not necessarily about the number itself. I don't think a $450 console is that insane, even though Nintendo has been known for being the affordable option until recently. And I'm more mad about the...
Not anymore. Thanks to Trump tariffs, baby. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Donald Trump. I didn't want to pay less for the Switch. I did not want to. I love paying more for things.
Hike of physical and digital games, more because of what it represents instead of the actual number itself. Games just got standardized to $70 like, what, 5 years ago? And now Nintendo's...
To be fair, it has not kept up with inflation, okay? That's still like if you get like a fully... Like, I'm willing to pay $70 for a good game, you know, like for one that I'm going to remember for a while. Yeah, like I'm fine with that personally.
It seriously expects us to pay
it's not a
$80
necessity.
for
I just
digital,
don't care that much.
$90 for physical. Well, a small important correction here, as it turns out the whole $90 for physical thing technically is not confirmed. It's based on a price conversion from Spain, so honestly there's a pretty good chance that part isn't actually true. But regardless, at bare minimum, the standard price of video games is going up another $10. Physical has basically been borderline dead for about a decade now, and I think this is pretty much going to kill physical games for good. Why the hell would you pay $10 extra for a tiny little case on your shelf? Yeah, sure, some people will do that, but given that you're paying $20 more than the standard price of a video game, yeah, I think people are...
I mean, it's been the standard price for... I'm being serious. Like, it's been the standard price for so long. It was inevitable that it was going to go up. Like, in 2000... Wasn't that the standard price in, like, 2005? How much is the dollar inflated in 20 years? I genuinely don't know. I know that it has, though. Like, it has to have. So, like, it was $60 back in 2005. It's $60. It's still, like, I mean, 70 or 80 bucks in 2025. Like, I feel like it hasn't even kept up, honestly. I could be wrong, though. Somebody prove me wrong. Like, I would like to be wrong on that. I want to think that, like, it would feed my narrative that companies are extorting us, but I really don't think it's kept up that much.
We're just gonna stick with
Yeah,
digital.
PS4 was
Another thing that
$400.
people are bringing up is the fact that Nintendo games very.
Although I will say console prices and like disc prices are very different. Consoles are always sold at a loss, and they make up for it. And like it's very, it's expensive to make a game, but to print like a million copies of it is like dirt cheap. So like that's where they make the big bucks. Like they charge you $60 per disc. The disc is like cost of production. You're talking like a few dollars. Okay, so that's where they pull in the Mondo Dollary dues.
Very rarely go on sale, at least the first party ones. So it's going to be sticking to that price for a long time. You can't just be a patient gamer, wait a year, and then pick up Donkey Kong for $20. No, that's just not going to happen. But again, like I said, it's not necessarily about the money. I have the money. I can afford to buy these games and the consoles, no problem.
Okay, then shut up about the money.
I will, because I'm a game reviewer. Even though I probably won't make videos on a lot of these games, because most of the people who come to this channel don't come to see Nintendo games. Even though I do love baby games, as people like to call them. Hell, the Croc Remaster is utter dog shit, and yet I was having a great time playing it. So I'm sure I'll really like Donkey Kong Bonanza. But like I said...
But honestly, listen, I'm going to shit on you a little bit because... I'm going to be a little bad faith here. I'll be honest. I don't buy that, like, you like baby games for the same reasons that I like baby games. I like baby games because they're fun, and I just find them charming, and I can appreciate the artwork and time and effort that went into them, okay? And I'm not saying that you don't think those things, but I also think there's an element of, like, I don't have to think about trans people and black people here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's an element of, like, I can mentally remove myself from the scary minorities. And maybe, you know, maybe that's just me being ultra lefty and, like, being extraordinarily bad faith. But, like, grant me that we, like, literally jumped into a stream, 4 hours into a stream, and, like, 3 times we heard him be a Nazi in the span of, like, a couple of minutes. So, like, I feel like I'm justified.
It's more about what this represents. If Nintendo gets away with this, that means the standard price of video games for everyone is going to go up to $80 or $90. Let's say hypothetically it doesn't, because Sony and Microsoft...
What does he think of Donald Trump? I genuinely don't know, because when it comes to neo-Nazis, sometimes they think they want to lick Donald Trump's feet, and then sometimes they're like, no, Donald Trump is not nearly evil or fascist enough. Like, he sucks, actually. He's too kind to brown people, in my opinion. Instead of deporting them, we should just be waterboarding them, you know? Like, just make them suffer. So, like, sometimes my point is I genuinely don't know what his opinions would be. So maybe he knows that the tariffs are really stupid and he hates Donald Trump, but I would genuinely like to know.
Don't think they can sell games for that price.
They're going to get more expensive.
Has Nintendo proved to you, to anyone, that their games are worth $90? As I was just talking about a couple minutes ago, they certainly haven't proved it to me. I definitely was not that impressed with most.
Okay, I'm sorry, but, like, this is an inelastic demand. They can charge whatever they want for video games. I don't care that much, because when you're talking about video, like, I do care, because, like, I feel like it should be accessible to everybody, because, like, I'm a socialist, okay? Like, I do care in a sense, but, like, I just don't care enough, because, like, it's not a necessity. If you like the game enough, you'll find a way to get it, you know? And I don't care that much that they're charging that much, because we do live in a capitalist society, and I just, like, they got to make money.
Of the Switch's exclusives, and just judging by the gameplay footage they showed,
it doesn't feel like, it feels like they could be extorting for so much more if that's their goal.
In the presentation, the new Switch games don't really look any better than the Switch 1 games. I mean, what are they using the new power of this console for exactly? And it's not like the Switch 2 really has any interesting gimmicks, except maybe being able to use a Joy-Con as a mouse. That's something I would actually use. But nothing else I really gave a shit about. What, you gotta buy a special Nintendo camera peripheral and then use their discount Discord app? Which of course requires the Nintendo online service that you gotta pay every year for just to use.
That's shit.
And this is Nintendo we're talking about, so you're probably gonna get banned for saying slurs. Likely use...
Okay. Like... don't say them. Dumbass. Like, you can't... me, when I go 2 seconds without saying the N-word. Like, literally.
Using AI in some fashion to detect your speech. Not to mention the elephant in the room of all of the grooming that no doubt is going to go on.
What do you mean by that? I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about the Smash Bros community, yeah, agreed. But that was not that was like people from not this. Like, it's probably not the people you're thinking of. Is my point.
I wouldn't be shocked if this turns out to be the Omegle of Nintendo, and people just start flashing their genitals at children. You know the type of people Nintendo fans are. Don't even pretend for a second that I'm pulling.
Wait, yeah, if there's like a video system coming, yeah, I feel like that would be kind of problematic. You can't just like talk to random people, can you? I don't know. Like, I guess as long as you like need a friend code to talk to somebody, like if you're like purposefully adding somebody, it's kind of on you at that point if they turn out to be some random freak, right? Like, why are you adding some random freak from Reddit? Like, you don't know this person.
This idea out my ass. Honestly, this just seems like a horrible idea. I mean, this shit is a fucking joke. They even showed in the enhanced version of Mario Party that it had, like, Connect functionality with the stupid-ass camera. So now...
Like, Nintendo, though, like, yeah, there are people who are going to do that, but it's not like they're turning on the video for, like, you can't just play and interact with random people. That's not a thing that like you can do on the Nintendo Switch, I don't think.
Now Nintendo's copying off of Microsoft, which copied off
like you'll
of
generally know the people.
Not to mention another thing with the physical games is that some of these carts don't even have the fucking game on them. So you're paying $10 extra for some worthless plastic, which then you just insert the card in your Switch and then have to download it online anyway. This whole thing is just...
I mean, it's kind of like a hybrid, and it feels like the worst of both worlds, but if you really think about it, like, it feels like, again, that just kind of feels like a natural progression, right? Like, we want to optimize... Okay, so we need to optimize two things, right? We need to somehow make a game which is really good, has... but takes up a lot of space, right? And so we need to optimize how we store that space. So what can we do? We can make the entire thing downloadable, but if we do that, then the console has to store the entire thing by itself. That would be a big console, right? And also it would take a while to download, and that would suck. We could do cartridges, okay? But the cartridges could be really big as well, and you know, like it's a physical item that you have to actually take care of and not break, so we have to make it sturdy. Or you could do both, right? You could do both. So like you have a tiny little cartridge that has enough storage on it. I don't know the exact logistics, I'm not an expert, but like the way that I'm picturing it, I think is like a hybrid between the two is not necessarily bad. You're getting the best of both worlds there, in my opinion.
Ridiculous, man. And I've heard some people give some...
This was debunked? Was it debunked? Okay, if it was debunked, then everything I just said doesn't fucking matter.
Kind of weird excuses for the prices, saying like, well, realistically...
You do have to download updates for the games, though, right? You still have to download updates for them. So, like, it's still, like, you do need a cartridge and a Wi-Fi connection. I don't know.
Things like free gacha games are way more expensive because...
I don't think it's necessarily
over the course
bad,
of years, you'll probably spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars if you're a whale, so that you can jerk off to your favorite slut's ass on screen.
Ew,
which, again, my counter-argument is,
dude.
gacha games are not fucking video games. I don't really care what these...
I did not need to hear that while Kirby was on the screen, man. That's
Coomers do with their free time. It's not exactly the same market. Another excuse is that if you adjust old game prices for inflation, video games should actually cost like $100 or more now.
That's what I'm saying! Like, I told you, like, he literally sat there. I didn't even do the math on that, and I was like, you know what? Like, it maths to me. Like, I literally did not even think about it. He literally sat there, did the research, and was like, huh, actually, if we account for inflation, like, video games should really be, like, over $100. And he didn't think about it for more than 2 seconds and still bitched about the price. It's like, dude, they literally are cheaper now than they were in 2005 if you account for inflation. Like, the price has gone down, dumbass.
But that never takes into account if the wages have inflated at the same rate, which...
Okay, yeah, but everything else went up higher. Compare that to like anything else. It's still cheaper now than like No, like the cost of living, the way the cost of living rose, this did not rise with it. Like it's literally cheaper compared to the cost of living, the average cost of living now than it was back in 2005. It was a greater luxury item in 2005, a more expensive luxury item in 2005 than it is now, given the average like income, right? I'm not crazy, right? It has not kept up with inflation.
They haven't. People are poorer than ever. And again, you guys know I'm not a socialist or a communist or whatever the hell.
Don't worry, I'm not going to say anything correct here. I'm just letting you know like a basic fact of life that I don't personally want to fix it all.
But it doesn't matter if games should cost $120 or whatever ridiculous number. The only thing that matters is the value proposition to the customer. Yes, you can deceive people into spending more money with microtransactions or shitty copy-paste DLC.
That's all capitalism,
we've been seeing
dumbass.
Since the PS3 era. But ultimately, they still have to convince you to buy the game. I would unironically pay $100 for a masterpiece because a game that is truly a 10 out of 10 is extremely rare these days, no matter what journalists or shill YouTubers tell you. I don't think I've played a single new game release that I'd consider a masterpiece in the entire time that I've been making videos on this channel. So over
I can't really speak to that. I mostly just play trading card card shop simulator. So I am playing this is an old game, so it's not relevant, but like I am playing The Walking Dead with Tina, so that's fun. We just finished chapter 1 last night. It was great. I'm trying to think of recent stuff I've played though, because like I mean Hades, right? That was really good. That was really well received. Like Katie is obsessed with it, and a lot of people are obsessed with it. It's a really good game. Indie games, right? Like I think there's like people always forget about indie games. Like when they think about like the gaming industry, quote unquote, they always think of like the big studios, and in many ways the big studios have failed us, and that's true. But like indie games, there's no shortage of like creativity and different gameplay styles and like stories to tell. Like it is a treasure trove. Like we are in a golden age of gaming when it comes to indie games. So I just like, I don't buy this narrative that like gaming sucks today. I just don't think it does. It's not a real thing. And to the extent that it does, mind you, that's because of capitalism, okay? Your side did this. If people had the shit that they needed to survive, just like the basic shit, they could focus on making beautiful games. Because if you want somebody who's passionate about it, meet their basic needs, and then they will create for you. Build it and they will come.
5 years. So yes, with Nintendo games, typically you just pay one time and then you enjoy the game, which is better than most other AAA releases, if we're being honest. But this shit is still scummy no matter which way you try to spin it. Another good example is that they're selling you a tech demo that teaches you the features of the Switch 2. Yes, it costs money. This is something that would have been free software on the Wii. And even if
they're selling you a tech demo? I did misunderstand. Okay, sorry. Or I didn't understand at all. Okay, yeah, that is really stupid actually. Like that I can't say he's wrong on that. Yeah, no, that is really dumb.
The Switch 2. Yes, it costs money. This is something that would have been free really software on the Wii.
Just make the Switch $10 more at that point. Y'all, it's already like $2,000 thanks to Trump tariffs. You might as well make it $2,010.
And even if we just take the presentation itself at face value, the show was fucking ass. Half of it was literally just ports or slight upgrades on older games that they can sell to you again. Though I guess you pay less money if you get the upgrade. Oh, and did you guys notice that they slipped in that the Switch 2 isn't entirely backwards compatible? It's only select games.
No! Oh, that sucks ass, dude. What? No, I'm actually... Why did you send me this video of all videos to react to? Like, I agree with most of it. I'm sorry, like, yeah, what the Switch 2 is doing is really stupid. There were a couple funny moments, like, where he was a dumbass, but, like, I mean, he's not wrong about all this Switch stuff. I just feel like I could have reacted to a video where I disagreed with him more. Because, like, this is really dumb.
That we know what the full selection is. And to touch on the wokeness subject again.
Yes, okay, wait, we're back. We're so back.
A wheelchair basketball game. Are you...
Yes, this is okay. Never mind. I take it back. This is what I'm here for. Literally complaining about wheelchair basketball. Why? Don't buy it. just don't buy it, brother. Like, oh, you don't have to. Okay, if it like it looks cool, yeah, it does. It does look cool. It looks like Rocket League a little bit, right?
They're fucking developing a wheelchair basketball game. Are you fucking kidding me? This had its own trailer during the show. So what is...
Who cares? Okay. Yeah, some people are in wheelchairs and all they're just trying to live their damn lives, and they live their lives differently than ours, and that inspired that game. And it looks cool, okay? It looks like it looks good, okay? Like it's basic, sure, but like it's wild, like the shit that people get upset about. You know, I can't imagine being this disgusting inside.
What does that leave us with that's actually exciting from the Switch 2 reveal? Well, we have Mario Kart World, which I have to admit does look pretty damn good, even though I'm not a fan of sandboxes in general. The way that it looks like it's being handled in this game is really interesting. There's Donkey Kong Bonanza, which again, I have to admit, does look good. It looks fun. I love when you can destroy environments in video games. Though I hate the new Donkey Kong design, and I know I'm far from the only one. I just can't...
I'm mixed. I can see myself getting used to it. They're trying to harken back to like the classic one, right? But like I do think that the newer model is like, when I say newer, I mean like the one before this. I just think it looked better. I think it was I don't know. I could get used to it, I guess. It's not terrible.
Can't stop thinking of Seth Rogen's obnoxious laugh, and I just hate how friendly he looks now. The rare design was perfect. Now he just looks...
Okay, yeah, he's kind of right. He looks very like corporate friendly,
and I just hate how friendly he looks now. The rare design was perfect. Now he just looks like a harmless goofball. Of course, there's Metroid Prime 4, but that's also on the Switch 1, so you don't need to buy a Switch 2 for that. And I'll be honest, it really doesn't look that great. Metroid Prime 1 is in my top 10 favorite games of all time, but the Metroid Prime 4 footage just didn't show anything interesting at all.
I sent it as an example of what modern Gamergate looks like. Okay, I got you, okay. I mean, I like, he's got, okay, so here's the thing, right? He's like got some pretty good gamer takes. So, you know, like the problem becomes you agree with him on some of these basic gamer things, and then you kind of get roped into the sauce, right? Like he drowns you in the sauce, and so next thing you know, bada bing bada boom, you're advocating for ethnostates, and that's not a good thing to do. So you got to be careful out there, folks. Okay, it's crazy out there.
The psychic gimmick doesn't really look fun. It was just used to open doors and shoot a homing shot. Oh wow, do we even know if we can switch beam types in this one? Because that was my biggest problem with Prime 3, that they got rid of the whole switching guns feature, which made Prime unique in the first place. And of course, the final interesting game they showed, which I, you know, sort of implied that I was interested in at the beginning, is Kirby Air Riders.
I'm so excited. I'm so
Guys,
hyped.
Kirby Air Ride 2 was in my list of games that are never getting a sequel in a million years. So honestly, I am a little excited. I never thought I could get excited for another game release. Yeah, I'll be honest, I am. I actually really wanted that game to get made. Now, obviously, I'm not that excited because Dragon's Dogma was another game I thought would never get a sequel, and well, you saw how mediocre that sequel was last year. But between this game and Okami 2, at least there's a couple things I'm looking forward to in the future. The thing is, out of these 4 games, only one is actually releasing on launch day. That being Mario Kart World, which is also bundled with the console.
I'm bored. Does he do any more funny stuff?
Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming out just a month later, so at least it's a launch window title. But Metroid Prime 4 still doesn't even have a official release date. I can only assume it's coming out at the end of this year, unless it gets delayed yet again. And as a game that was trapped in development hell for like 7 fucking years, because you might remember it was revealed...
You know the Markiplier dangling keys meme I showed you guys on Tuesday? I feel like that, except for like when he starts to get racist. Once he starts to get racist, that's like the dangling keys for me. Then I'm fully alert and paying attention. But I have not. I've been tuned out for like the past 20 seconds.
With the Switch 1, I don't exactly have high hopes that it's going to be as good as Prime 1 or 2. And supposedly Kirby Air Riders is also coming out this year, but we didn't see any gameplay, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed. And some of you might be thinking, well, I'm forgetting a game. That being the From Software game Dusk Blood, which has to be the worst title they've come up with yet. It reminds me of Dustborn. And look, I was as hyped as everyone else when I thought this was going to be the unofficial Bloodborne 2. But as it turns out, it is a PvPvE game. You know, like Hunt Showdown or something to that effect. Yeah, I'm fucking out, dude. I don't care. From Software had their last hurrah with Elden Ring and Armored Core 6, and it looks like now their golden years are finally done, and they're going to sink into the abyss. That is just my prediction for the future based on Elden Ring Night Rain, and I'm sure as soon as influencers get to touch this, we're going to hear similarly worrying feedback. I don't think anyone buys From Software games for a shitty forced online experience. We play because they're awesome single-player games. Or at least they used to be. I'm kind of sick of them now, but they're still high quality at the end of the day. I can admit that. And another thing, too, that
Alec Gunter X Actual Jake collab when? I would collab with Actual Jake. I'm just, like, a little nervous about reaching out because, like, I feel like I'm bothering people. So, like, I just don't. That's part of the reason I'm bad at reaching out. But, yeah, I would. I've done a Cirrus collab, and I know Cirrus and Jake are friends. So, you know, I've already kind of gotten in with him. He's pretty chill. I debated him on his stream. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I like, I don't remember if I watched all of that, but yeah, I remember that happened. But yeah, I like Jake. He's great.
That I'm sure like 5 people are excited about is that they're adding GameCube games to the Switch on.
I met Cirrus at MagFest. Yeah, Cirrus is great. Cirrus has never done anything wrong, ever. In fact.
Line Plus service or whatever the hell. Have none of you people ever heard of Dolphin? I guarantee it's going to fucking run better than Nintendo's own emulator. And it's for free, no less. You have to pay like $50 a year just to play a few GameCube games on Switch 2.
Be racist.
So yes, I realize I'm rambling a bit here, and there's plenty of other things I could cover, like the fact that the Switch 2 only comes with 256 gigabytes of storage, which is pitifully small in this day and age, especially when you're going to have to probably download half your games anyway. But I think I more or less covered.
Okay, I've had enough. I can't do the last 2 minutes. Sorry. I guess what we're to take from this is he doesn't have the worst gamer takes, but when it comes to like important stuff, trans rights and the basic rights of various minority groups and respecting and just not being a dick in general, you know, he's kind of shitty. So yeah, that was kind of my take on Synthetic Man.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.